caption should already be up there as well. All right, go ahead, Frank, say hello.
Well, hi, everyone. My name is Frank. I'm in Oxnard, California, and my business is EFN Web LLC and Single Member LLC, and work with a lot of Joomla sites. Started with Joomla 1 back in 2006, something like that. And I don't know how many sites I manage right now. It's quite a few. I have one client where he's 100% Joomla, and I think it's about 30 sites over 4 businesses. And then there's others, of course. And the way I deal with updates is just basically one at a time, because I'm a little bit nervous about bulk updating. Although the client I have with all those websites, for one of his businesses, there's about 15 sites that are basically identical. They're kind of serving different regions. And I've been thinking about doing, I forget what the plugin is, but where I can manage them all from one place. Yeah, I forget the name of the plugin, but
is that Watchful?
It might be, yeah. It's a 4-pay plugin, I think, and dashboard. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, yeah. Watchful is you install it on each of the websites, but then you only log in to your Watchful account and you can see all your websites, and you can push button back. You can perform a backup there. And then you can also like update all of your little plugins and components and stuff, and Joomla.
Exactly. Yeah. So that might be exactly what I was going to start checking out. So yeah, okay. So that's me.
All right. Richard, do you want to say hello? Oh, you're muted. And I'm typing.
Try again. Hi, everyone. My name is Richard Gonsler. I live in England on the south coast in, well, not today, but normally sunny Bournemouth. I've been building with Joomla for, I would say, 6 or 7 years. I think maybe 50% are now in Joomla 4. And I normally do the updates when the emails keep pestering me and I get fed up with them. So then I update everything. That's it.
Robin, you're on mute.
I hope we get better at this. In case you don't know, Richard is helps me run this group as well as Joe Sunny. So, Joe, do you want to say hello next?
Right. Hello, I'm Joe. I'm from Canada, which is a really, really big place. So I'm close to Toronto. I think I have a half a dozen Joomla 4 sites. And the only other thing you need to know about me right now is I'm a huge fan of some of the people that I'm looking at on my screen right here. This is really awesome how this group has come along. There's some like pretty impressive Joomla people in here. And so I'm your biggest cheerleader.
Wonderful. I see Bear, do you want to say hello? And is that what I should put down for your attendance, or is that okay? I got you.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. I've been since '91. So I'm the primary developer for BearZamp, and I work with Allie when she's doing site design on customizations and tweaks that she needs that she can't get figured out, or she's not remembering how to do it. I'm a horrible site designer. When it comes to colors and stuff, that's not my gig. I can make stuff do stuff, but designing is not my gig. I'm a member of JBS, have been almost since day one, since 1.5. So for a very, very long time. And I've been using Joomla literally since day one. I first got on board with,
Mambo,
yeah. Yeah, so that's when I first, two weeks before Mambo went away, I came on board. That's pretty much everything about me.
All right, where are you coming from?
Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
Central Oklahoma.
I love to write down where everyone's from so we can, wow.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, Ellen, a fellow Connecticut native.
Hi, I'm Ellen Rothwax. I'm in Fairfield, Connecticut. You would think it's April now. The weather's beautiful. I've been with Joomla since 1.5, I guess. And I have about a half a dozen Joomla 4 sites. I usually wait like a week or so before I update my sites after release, because I've been in a situation where I updated and then a day later, either they've done another release because there were problems, or there were problems and people started talking about it. So I like to give it a little time and make sure it's a functioning update before I update. So I don't think I'm going to be doing any this afternoon.
Yeah.
I don't know how anyone else feels about it, but
I'm with you. I normally wait and it's not a big deal, but this one they seem to be saying it's a big deal. So that's the only thing. But certainly.
It went very, very smooth.
Okay.
that's good to know.
Okay. Rachel, say hello. Tell us where you're coming from.
Hi, just had to find the unmute button. Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm from the Netherlands. Although I said I would be here a few times before, it's my first time.
Oh.
Couldn't make it the other ones, but it's good to be here. And I've been with Joomla. I've started with Mambo, I think half a year before they forked, something like that. Been with Joomla ever since. We have about 22 sites in J4 now, and about 80 in 3. I'm a member of the CMS release team, so we do the testing before a new release. And my partner is updating right now, so I've got my hands free.
Nice. Nice. Thanks for joining us. Anne, you want to say hello?
Hi, everyone. I'm Ann Noter Thomas. I'm from Syracuse, New York. And I've been using Joomla for about 11 years now. I have 4 Joomla 4 sites at this point. 2 are in development. I use my Sites Guru to do the updates, and I've been very happy with that. I've been using it for a few years. Ellen, like you, I usually wait to do updates. But this one's been being pushed out for so, urgent for so many days. It's something like this. I'm like, okay, I better do it. But I also have my fingers crossed that there's not right away some problem with it. But usually the security ones, in my experience, they haven't had problems with them. So that's my story.
All right, wonderful. Daniel, do you want to say hello? I always look to see if there are 2 Daniels. You're up.
Hi, everyone. My name is Daniel. I'm from Brittany, which is the west part of France, close from Mr. Richard in South England. Yes. Hello. And I've started Joomla 2007. It was the first time of the early beginning, 1.5, as I remember. And since 9 years now, I'm freelancer. I work only from Joomla, night and day, days and weeks, and holidays. Every I create websites, I create overrides, I create, I maintain also sites for clients. I have, I don't know, maybe over 50 sites in maintenance. Recently, we've created a directory for Joomla 4 templates. So,
Wonderful.
and I told you last time I was here, Robin, but thank you very much for this great and awesome initiative to maintain this virtual meetings. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. am so excited to have this group, and every month I am just so excited at how many people pop in and contribute to the conversation. And we have some really great meetings. So if you guys keep coming, I'll keep doing it. And I really appreciate it. Lisa, do you want to say hello?
Hello, I'm Lisa, joining everyone from Virginia. This is Ghost. He likes to hang out on the back of my chair sometimes. And I've been working with Joomla since 06, 07, somewhere in there. I think 1.0, 1.1, 1.5, somewhere in there. I actually only have 3 sites on Joomla 4 right now. Very slow to upgrading them. And I've already updated one and had no issues. So on the topic of updates, I will often wait for feature updates, but security ones I typically apply right away. And I have been burned with some updates in the past. I can think of one where it was like the random image module broke. You guys remember that one? I had a few sites go down because of that. I think it was an easy fix, but that's always fun when you push an update and then all of a sudden your sites are broken. I use My Sites Guru, which is similar to Watchful, for doing mass updates and monitoring. And yeah, just glad to be here. Sorry, I missed last month, so I'm happy to be back.
Wonderful. Adam, do you want to say hello?
Sure. My name's Adam Melcher. I'm here in Nashville, Tennessee, and I've been working with Joomla since 2007. The fun days of 1.5 and the transition. And yeah, I think I thought this was a brand new group, so this is my first time in here. So thank you for the Facebook invite. But yeah, I think I have about probably 50 sites still on version 3 and 50 sites on Joomla 4. And generally my update policy is, if they're not paying me for a monthly maintenance, then I'm not going to update it for them. And, the ones that do, I update. I usually update mine first. So I'm the one who I'll jump on the sword and make sure that everything, I can deal with my site being jacked up, but if their site's jacked up, then, it just takes over my whole day until it gets fixed and then pushes everything back. So, that's pretty much it. I've been doing a lot of J2 Store, Joomla 4 transitions, which is, not been the smoothest just because the, full release version isn't out yet. But I've got pretty much down, and one of the recent projects we've had integrated, it's still a Joomla 3 site, but it's Joomla 3 J2 Store integrated with Microsoft Dynamics GP. And, since we've launched and switched from a proprietary website to the Joomla site about a year ago, we've been increasing sales about $1.5 million a month over what was on the old site. So to me, that's a big win for Joomla and for the community, because everybody always talks about all the other e-commerce sites out there. But if, one of the largest, scale manufacturers in the country can increase their sales by 30% using a Joomla site, then the sky's the limit.
I love that. And to answer your question, Adam, we've only been a group since June, shortly after JJ USA last year. So we are still very new, and I'm glad you found us, and maybe the magazine will get us out to even more people will find us. So thank you so much for joining us. Yorgos, is that how you say it? You want to say hello? You're on. There you go. Hello.
Yeah, I'm Yorgos. I'm from Cyprus in Mediterranean Sea. I'm working with Joomla since some time. More of the time, I'm using templates to finish my work because I like ready things. What I do for the customers, I'm preparing 2 different models, 2 different sites. I'm giving more time to one of them to prepare it as best as I be here. And I present it to the customer, and that's it. I don't have to do any modifications or add any other things. I'm trying to work with the basic on Joomla, except that I'm using K2, and that's a big problem now.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
I don't have any Joomla 4 site during that time, but I have 4 projects that are coming on. So I'll be with them very soon.
Very soon.
That's all.
Thanks for joining us. Yannick, you want to say hello?
Hi, my name is Yannick. I am from Bordeaux, France. I probably shouldn't be here because I'm definitely not a website design company owner.
That's okay.
But I've been invited, so I tend to come in and show up when I'm invited. I'm an extension developer, mostly focusing on SEO and content extensions. And I've been around for quite a while. Mambo days, as several of you. And I don't have any Joomla 4 website. I just run my own websites, which are 3 or 4 in total, let's say, but none of them are Joomla 4 yet. So, but I would urge you to actually update your site, because I saw the changes in the change log in the one that came out just minutes ago. And yeah, you do want to update, really.
Really. Thank you so much for joining us. And today's presentation is on keyword research. And Gail has joined us, and she'll be talking a little bit later on. But she works with my clients inside of Joomla websites. So she's an outsider to Joomla. She works with just a few of my clients using Joomla, but this is great. So maybe you'll be able to add to the conversation as she goes through and talks about her experience after she does research, what she does inside the Joomla sites. Karen, why don't you say hello?
Hi, everybody. I'm Karen. I live in Athens, Georgia. I've been around the Joomla community since about 2013. And I think you had asked Robin how many sites on J4. I've got 6 on J4 so far. I have about 8 more to go. Nice. So I manage around 14 or 15. I can't remember. I have to look at Watchful.
Right.
Oh, and I use Watchful. Although I don't use it for all of them. I have some things on auto update, and some things I don't. So I've got a select list of auto updates. Things that like developers that I trust, like Akiba, so admin tools and Akiba, JCE, and then other ones I do manually to make sure there aren't any breaking changes.
Wonderful. Thanks for coming. Mary, do you want to say hello?
Hello from Washington State, and it's early morning today, so no camera. I've been with Joomla since it split from Mambo. Got about 6 Joomla 4 sites, and since it is a security update, I'll be doing that right away through mysites.guru, and that's me.
Hi, Mary. Thanks for coming. Quickly, I'm Robin Clapp. I run the group with Rich and Joe, and right now I have 10 sites. I looked on Watchful. I have 10 sites in 4. I'm probably another 50 in 310, and then I'm building sites right now that are in 4. I have about probably 8 of those that I'm working on developmentally, and I use Watchful, and I'm just so excited to see everyone here today. We're going to jump into a spotlight with Laura, and then after that, we're going to follow with a presentation with Gail. And if at any time you have any questions, just raise your hand, shout out, and enjoy the meeting. All right, Laura, why don't you take over? I did have it so you can share your screen if you want to.
Hello, everybody. It's good to see you. So before I start, JWUSA. Yeah, so I know some of you may have attempted to register. Thank you, Mary. And we found a blip in our registration system. So we're going to be fixing that today. So if you've registered for an event before, you cannot register yet. We just have to fix a little blip and then you'll be able to register. We've changed our registration system to make it easier. And of course, when you do that, you make something else harder, right? So anyway, So just letting you know, later today or by tomorrow, you'll be able to register without a problem. So that's my only.
She's talking about J-Day USA, by the way.
Joomla Day USA, which is the end of April, and it's going to be a hybrid event. A whole bunch of us are going out to Austin, Texas to be together in person, but we will also have virtual sessions being run. Okay, let me get into my spotlight.
Are we able to use Jet for J-Day?
So Jet is something that is through the Joomla World Conference, where Joomla World, we are Joomla Day USA, so we don't have any scholarships or anything like that. The ticket is $50. So the ticket is, we made it as low as humanly possible, and that's for 2 days, including lunches both days. So we made the ticket minimal because we understand that you have to pay for a flight and a hotel and things like that. The hotel, where the location is, the hotels that we found are walking distance. So you won't need to rent a car. You could, the Spring Hill Suite, which is what we set up, has a king size bed and a pull-out sofa couch like in another section. So it's a very easy, it is easy to room with someone if you want to save a couple of dollars. The airfare, I can't help you with that, but so, but we'd love you to come if you can. If not, the virtual version is available too.
All right, thank you.
So thank you. Okay, all right, let me start doing this and let me share this. And okay, hold on, let me pull this over here. And oh, I gotta do one more thing. Let's see if I can. Okay. So here's a question for everybody. Coincidence or fate? And this is a little story about me, Laura Gordon. So I think you've all seen this, seen the feather, right? So it brings up beautiful feelings, right? One of the best movies in the world, right? But what was beautiful about it is how he traveled through life and almost magically accepted the things that came his way. And by going to those different things, whatever they happen to be, changed his life forever. And that's kind of what my focus is. So in 2007, I'm jumping ahead of my career a little bit. I graduated college in '93, but in 2007, I'll tell a story about a library. So I got a call from a friend about, can I build a website? Now, at this point, I was building websites using HTML, using Dreamweaver. One thing I loved about using Dreamweaver and HTML is I controlled everything, which meant I'm like, oh, I could do a website for a nursery school or for a pizza place, and then they pay me to update their content. And that was my premise. That was how I was going to make money. I got a call from a library. Now, obviously, a library, that's not going to fly. The goal is actually for me to build a website that they can maintain themselves. And it was around, I actually started in Joomla dabbling around 2006, so about a year before. And I started learning the concept of a content management system that, wait a minute, I can get paid for my support and my knowledge, but I don't have to get paid to update the website, the actual content, if they can learn how to do it. So in 2007, I get this call from Springfield Public Library. And my concern, my first fears was, wait a minute, I built a website for my son's nursery school. I've done a pizza place, my husband's camp, but a library, that I thought I wasn't going to be able to do. So I questioned it. But I did take it and I did build it. And over the years, I have worked with them since 2007, and we're actually working right now on another upgrade to Joomla 4. They are a current client. In 14 years, we've built the site 3 times, rebuilt it for different versions of Joomla and to give it a fresh, clean look each time. As I mentioned, I'm going to be upgrading it to Joomla 4 shortly. So you never know. Also in 2007, I joined the Joomla user group for New York City. And the technical representative, and this is where things kind of fall into place, right? The head tech person at Springfield Public Library became the library director for New Providence Library in 2018. So that's 11 years later. And yes, I got the gig to rebuild the website for New Providence Public Library because of the relationship that we had in 2007. So that's a perfect example where you never know, different people in your life are going to come back in different times. So then what about presenting international networking? So I needed help. I needed other members in my type of field to figure out how I can do different things on different websites. So one thing that we started, and look who's there, I see you, Ellen. So one thing that we started was this amazing user group of New York City. And that was started, I think, around 2005, 2006, I started attending. And we started getting together regularly. And also another person here is Robert Jacoby, who he is going to be coming, by the way, to J-Day USA, and he's also going to be presenting. So we're really excited for that. This picture is actually from a Joomla camp event that we did in downtown of New York City. And it was a great event. Oh, and there's Olivier as well. So we have a couple of rock stars in here, and Mark and Stuart. And anyway, so we got together in a very similar way that this group is getting together right now. And because of that, I started running different Joomla Day events for New York City. I got to know the international Joomla community. I traveled to Boston to speak, Florida, Italy, and Spain. I then started the Joomla user group of New Jersey in 2013 with my friend Marion. This is a photo of us from Spain, and this was in January of 2020, where I had the beautiful opportunity to sit with all of these Joomla rock stars, which was amazing. Richard, I think, were you there, Richard? I don't even remember. I think so. I'm not sure, but it was amazing.
I'm not in the picture because I took the picture.
You took it. Okay, but Yannick, you were there too. Yannick, weren't you there? I think
at the back, somewhere at the back. Yeah, I am on the picture.
So this was like, I mean, talk about a rock star, you know, setting here. And I really hope we're going to recreate this picture in Texas in 2023 in April. So whoever is going to be there, I'm warning you now, I'm taking your group shot. But it was amazing. And it gave me the opportunity to kind of get out of my comfort zone and just to do more. I solidified relationships and became a kind of a local Joomla expert. And it was the inspiration to do our Joomla Day 2021 and 2022 and meet these amazing people, Joe and Robin. And now we're doing it again in 2023. So you never know, again, I'm going to keep going back to this, where different things are going to happen. So as I was building my own client base, and I had about 50 Joomla clients or 40, I don't even know what it was. I get a phone call in 2016 saying, are you a Joomla expert? And what is it for? It is a full-time job. Full-time, I don't have to get, you know, work to get paid, you know, the individual payments type of thing. Full-time with benefits at Rutgers, working on Joomla websites. Again, I didn't know if I could do it. Can I get into work every day? You know, I had 2 kids at home. Am I able to do it? And I was petrified. But at that time, around 2016, a lot of my clients started kind of switching over to WordPress. There was a little bit of a dip in Joomla at the time. At least that's what I saw. Not that it was bad. It was just that I didn't know if I would be able to continue bringing in the income I wanted. And this was kind of an opportunity of a lifetime. So I did it. I now manage over 120 Joomla websites at Rutgers. I have a team of 4 people, 4 amazing, or me plus 3 others, and a great boss that supports us. And what's interesting is that when I was in Joomla of New York City, one of the things we talked about is most universities use Drupal. And we even gave an example that Rutgers uses Drupal, because Rutgers did use Drupal. But what we didn't know is the School of Arts and Sciences, which is the English, math, history, sociology, Arabic studies, or Middle Eastern studies, religion, you name it, is actually in Joomla. And I didn't even know it because my assumption was all of Rutgers was Drupal. So it's kind of funny because we did talk about that at one of our user group meetings. I am the person that trains all of the users on how to use it. In fact, my friend Eddie and I, we create classes, so we teach. So I get to teach, I get to manage projects, and I get to develop new sites. And I am the one who basically figures out what tools we should use and why, and I have to justify it and figure it out. And it's amazing. And then I also took the opportunity, because I was working at Rutgers, to get my master's degree. And it's a master's of business science in a program with a concentration of user experience design. And I graduated in May of 2022. Something else I thought I would never be able to do. I knew I would be capable of getting my master's, but when I was looking, even years before, at an MBA, the classes looked really boring. And I'm like, that's not me. I just, it's boring, you know? And when I found this, which was half and half business, half tech, half science, it was the perfect match for me. And I really enjoyed my time doing it. And it was from 2019 and I graduated in 2022. So I have my master's and from Rutgers, and it's a bizarro picture of me, but that's me with my Rutgers. So just kind of a summary. So from 2007 up until now, I built the Springfield Public Library and other libraries. I kind of became an expert in libraries. That was kind of my thing. Joined the user group, did amazing things with that, became more of a Joomla expert. And no one's really a true expert in anything, but I feel that I have learned so much and I know how to break things. And that's how you become an expert, by the way, is being able to press that button that might blow everything up. And that is okay. That's how we learn. And that's how we get better at it. And then this amazing job at Rutgers and also my master's. So we got our video again, which I don't have to show because I know we have so much to do today. So I want to throw back out at you coincidence or fate. And how does the feather travel in your story? So I'd love to hear from you. And I'd love any of you to be able to kind of take a look at your journey. In fact, I am the representative for the Women in IT group at Rutgers, and I represent the Big Ten Alliance for Rutgers. So yesterday, I actually did a session, which once the video is ready, I'll share it publicly once we're able to. We had about 200 people attend, and it was about how to build your career journey map. And it's about figuring out what your milestones were, because you can't move forward unless you know where you've been and unless you honor yourself and you award yourself and you give yourself the flowers for the amazing things that you've done, and you kind of pat yourself on the back and you give yourself a chance to meet people. And a lot of you are in this room have supported me over the years and have given me the opportunity to just do amazing, amazing things. So I thank you all. I have no idea how much time it was, but thank you for your time. And if anyone wants to get in touch with me, I'm rytechsites.com. And I really hope to see you at Joomla Day and see you in person and break bread together in person. So thank you very much.
Laura, thank you. That was really cool. And I think unless you do a spotlight, we only know like the surface about people. And when we listen to these stories, boy, do we get to know people more in depth. And everyone has such interesting stories every time they do it. So for those who are a little bit afraid about doing it, it's okay. You can just sit and chat with us. We're really friendly. We won't bite. So yes, please, 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 if you haven't looked at it, check out jdayusa.com. We have some fantastic speakers coming in, and we are so excited to get together in person in Texas. We want it to be the best event yet. And so check it out. More notifications will be coming out. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on the website. And all right.
If you want to see the sessions, oh, I shared the wrong link. Hold on. I'm sorry, Daniel. I shared your link a second time. If you look at our sessions, and they're still being added to, by the way. So we have Owen, 50 useful non-Joomla tools that you can use when designing Joomla. We have Dan, AI-powered semantic search. We have Killian, beyond responsive design. Robin, building a business website. Vlad, hosting in the cloud. Brian Mitchell, how healthy is your Joomla business? Joe, ideas for business maintenance plans and service offerings. Carlos, Joomla 4, how to develop apps. Olivier, Joomla 4.3, new features. I got Robert, learn Samba with small and medium-sized businesses. Benjamin, talk Joomla 4 code. Nicola and the entire executive board is going to give us a panel discussion. Yannick, podcasting with Joomla. Tim, Smarter Than Tim's, which is going to be a panel of Joomla rock stars. I'm going to talk about some really simple tips when you migrate from Joomla 3 to Joomla 4. Robbie Adair using AI, and we have Elisa doing a full Youthing Pro workshop. And I do know that Sharat from Israel, she's going to be presenting on Friday morning. Not sure exactly what her presentation is going to be yet, but I know she's in the works. And yeah, so that's a pretty good list. Oh, and in addition, we're doing an intro to Joomla 4 class with Rod, and then we're also doing Bugs and Fun with Olivier. So that's like just the tip of the iceberg, but that's going to be across 2 days. We're not sure which events are going to be on Saturday versus Sunday. Friday versus Saturday. So that schedule we're going to put together on March 1st. We wanted to get all the speakers in, and on March 1st, our team is getting together and we're going to figure out who's going to do what when based on people's time requirements and stuff like that. So we're going to work all that out. So just register. It's $50. And typically, yeah, if you pay the $50 and you're only attending virtual, you may not be able to see all the sessions live, but everything will be recorded. So you will have at least one track is going to go on live, synchronously at the same time. We may not do everything, both where we may just record some of the sessions and then you'll see it afterwards. Because as you know, hybrid is pretty intense to put that together. We want to do it right. We want to do it well. So if you pay, you will get access to the videos within like a week at the latest. So, and that's it.
Wonderful.
All
right. Our next presentation, Gail Moraski is a really good friend of mine and a colleague and a partner. And she works specifically in SEO and SEO strategies, search strategies. And her and I do several presentations together. And this is a I'm going to be sharing the presentation. She's going to be working on her she's going to be speaking to her portion. But we sometimes we work together, and I do a piece, and we have a design piece, an IT piece. But specifically with SEO, how to be found on Google. And I'm going to share it right now, Gail. But as I'm doing this, go ahead and introduce yourself and get us started.
Okay. Thank you for having me, Robin. It's nice to meet everybody. Just to give you a little bit about my background, I am not a web developer. I have learned tons and tons of, I guess, web development terms over the years, which is helpful for my clients. It's amazing how much I've learned in the last 9 years. So my background, I worked in corporate marketing roles for years and years. And then about 9 years ago, I went out and started my own digital marketing agency. And a large percentage of my clients are on the SEO side of things. It's just a specialty I've developed, and it really interests me because I'm very analytical in nature. Yeah, so over the last 9 years, just working with a variety of web developers, but particularly Robin, I've gotten to know a lot of the jargon, even though I don't develop myself. I guess I'm wondering if everybody could put in the chat whether or not they need experience or expertise in SEO. I just kind of wanted to see what people's backgrounds are. And I hope I won't insult anybody by anything I go over. I imagine there's a diverse mix of backgrounds on the SEO side, and some know more than others. So I don't mean or want to be talking down to anybody, but I may be going over some stuff that is very basic to you, and you may say, why is she going over that? But I don't know where people's skill sets are at. I know Yannick had said he's got an SEO background, so he may already know a lot of this information. So anyway, as Robin mentioned, we had done a presentation a couple of times for SCORE Boston. They work with people that are starting a new business. It could be a for-profit, it could be a nonprofit. We have done a presentation on how to ensure that your website is your workhorse. And Robin spoke to the web build piece, but I spoke to the SEO piece. So we're just going to be going over the SEO piece right now. I do want to say that I have many clients come to me who had somebody build a website for them. So they come to me and they already have a website in place. It's not necessarily a Joomla site. A lot of times it's WordPress. It could be Wix or Weebly, whatever. And they're like, oh, I have this beautiful website. I've invested all this time and money on it, and it's not ranking well. No one's finding it. I'm not getting any search traffic. What's going on? And inevitably, the issue is that the site was never optimized for SEO. There was no initial SEO work when the site was launched, and that's why the site is just sitting out there, this beautiful website. So I had written a blog post that says, why just because you build it doesn't mean they will come. And it's all, you know, it's based on Field of Dreams, obviously, but it's all about if you have somebody build a beautiful website or you build it yourself and you don't optimize it for search, then it's not going to be found. So anyway, I guess we'll dive right in. Robin, next slide. So again, you may already know a lot of this, but I'm just going to try to go through it quickly. So search engine optimization, or SEO, is basically the practice of implementing on your website practices that help your site appear high up in search engine results, primarily Google, but other search engines as well, for terms that I say are relevant to the products, services, or solutions to problems that you offer. And that's one thing that people lose sight of a lot, that you do need your site to rank for solutions to problems, because often that's what somebody's searching on. They're not necessarily searching on your product or service. So the two ways that you can appear high up in search results are obviously through the organic tactics that we're going to talk about today, organic SEO. And on the left-hand side, you'll see there somebody typed in Boston history course, and that's an example of an organic listing that would you have an example of a Google ad. So that's when someone runs a paid ad in Google to have an ad come up at the top of search results for relevant terms. Next slide.
Here we go.
So today, like I said, we're going to be focusing on ranking well or organically versus paid search tactics, and the focus is on Google, but anything that we talk about is relevant to other search engines as well. Last time I checked, 92% of people were using Google as their primary search engine. So that's why we focus on Google so much. Next slide. So, so what are some of the most critical SEO tactics? You guys are already very aware of this, but your site does need to be secure. That Google is not going to serve up a site that is not secure these days. So obviously you have to have an HTTPS address and a security certificate in place. Your site needs to be responsive, meaning it responds to whatever device accesses it, whether it's a mobile phone or a tablet. Those are like SEO 101 best practices. But the other things that are really critical to SEO success are doing keyword research, and we're going to be talking about that and what it is, to really understand you know, what people are searching on relevant to your products, services, and solutions, and that will inform your page title tags, your headers, and your website content. Making sure that you have a Google My Business, or what's now called a Google Search and Maps listing, so that you know, that supports local SEO, and that needs to be embedded on the contact page of a website, and you have to make sure you actually get that that code from your Google My Business listing, because I see a lot of people add that to their site, but they're not adding it correctly, and they're really pulling their Google My Business profile information in there. And then what I always do, and this is sort of like my little secret sauce, I guess, is, you know, making sure that we add what I call a geographic statement or a geographic description to your website. And that should really inform Google where your target audiences are located, as well as where your business is located. And that just gets, by adding that to your footer, that gets your geography on every page of your site, and Google can crawl and index that. There's so many people that forget to put on their website where either they're located or the geography of the people they serve. So then Google, doesn't know to serve their site up because it doesn't even know that, the business in question is in the relevant geography. Next slide. So keyword research, is, like I said, it's one of the most critical SEO tactics, because if you don't know what anybody's searching on, then you're not going to know what terms to include in your website content and in your page title tags. And also sometimes keyword research just informs your marketing in general, or your product, service, solution offerings, because you can do keyword research and say, oh, no one's really searching on these terms, no one's searching to find what I offer. Well, then all the search engine optimization in the world isn't going to help you if no one's really searching. Then you've got to consider a whole other strategy. But hopefully keyword research will reveal that people are searching on relevant terms, and that will inform your tags and your content, like I said. Next slide. So here's some keyword examples for my own business, which is Results Communications and Research, and that's my URL up there. I want my website to appear for digital marketing agency, SEO company, SEO expert, help with technical SEO, organic SEO. How can I make my site rank better in Google? And I work on my own SEO each and every day, and I audit how my site's doing pretty much every day. And it's a constant battle. So that's the other thing. You need to think of SEO as an ongoing marketing tactic. It is not a one-off thing, because you're constantly competing with other organizations that want their site to rank well for relevant terms. And so you have another SEO best practice is always just putting up fresh content, and that can just be in the form of a blog post, but you have to keep your content fresh. Next slide. So like we were saying, keyword research is the exercise of identifying the terms that target audiences put into a search engine like Google to identify an organization like yours. And it also helps you discover the average number of times a month someone is entering the terms in the search engine for your geography. And that's, what's really important, to be able to see what are the terms people are using the most, so that you can use the highest volume keywords that are appropriate to your organization in your website content and your meta tags. Next slide. So key steps before you begin your keyword research, really give some thought who your target audiences are. Think about whether they're going to search similarly or search differently. Decide which products and services you want to do the research for. Maybe you already know you're ranking well for some and not as well for others. So you may not want or need to do the research for everything. Think about what geography you want to conduct your research in. The great news is that keyword planners tools allow you to specify your geography, so you can get information specific to it. And then consider, and again, this presentation was really meant for people who have their own business, but you do need to think about whether you have the time to conduct the research yourself, or whether you should hire an expert. Next slide. Robin, do I need to speed it up?
No, sorry. No, you're doing okay.
Okay,
if anyone has any questions at any point, please shout out. We'll leave questions at the end too.
Okay, great. So these are the two tools you can use to conduct keyword research. You can use Google Ads. You do need to have a Google Ads account, but they have a great keyword planner tool, and that's the one I use, because you can get so specific about the geography, and I want to be specific for my clients. And then you can also just add, put an add-on on your Chrome or Firefox browser called Keywords Everywhere, and that's helpful if you want to just get a general overall sense of what terms people tend to use, but that's not as specific from a geographic standpoint. Like you can get, it's called Keywords Everywhere, so that you can get volumes of people searching everywhere, but it's not geography specific. Next slide. So once you get your keyword research conducted, and it's a lot of cutting and pasting of the results that the keyword planner tool spits out, you need to start, my homework assignment I always give my clients is go through this list and highlight the terms that you think are really authentic to your product, services, and solutions. Like they're really, terms that make sense for you to be using in your content, because another SEO best practice is just to be authentic. Like, do not try to use a keyword that is not relevant to what you do just to rank for it. So I have the clients do the homework, highlight the terms that are relevant to them, and then we work on what's listed there under employee, the terms. So it's like you want to put the high volume keywords that are appropriate in your website page content itself, but you also want to use them in your headers, your H1, your H2, etc. Definitely in your meta page title tags. I have found, my experience has shown without a doubt, your page title tags, and not your page description tags, but your page title tags are one of your most critical pieces of SEO real estate. I find that plays the biggest role in how my clients rank in search engines, because Google is, crawling and indexing those meta tags. And if those aren't right, you're really shooting yourself in the foot. But anyhow, so that's very important. And then you can house some of your high volume keywords and blog posts or an FAQ on your site. And then once you have your keyword research, you can use it for other marketing. Like it helps you figure out what hashtags to use in social media, or if you're tagging a video on YouTube, what hashtags to use for that. Next slide. So you guys, we can go over this part quickly. We already talked about that. So there's two types of organic search results listing that comes up when somebody types in relevant terms. And particularly if they're using a near me term, or they list a specific town or city, Google might serve up their Google My Business profile or a Google search and maps listing versus what's shown there on the screen. That's an organic listing with a link to the website in question. But, if it's local search and Google recognizes it to be that, it will serve up a Google My Business profile instead. Next slide. So here's an You can always email me or something if you need to know how to embed that on your client's site, but that's what should go on the contact page. And what's shown on the right hand side is sometimes Google will serve up the Google My Business profile. Sometimes it'll serve up what's shown on the right, which is a listing of 3 organizations, usually 3 organizations listed, and then there'll be a Google ad. Like on that page, you'll see it says ad up at the top. That listing where it'll show up like 3 selections or 4 selections, that's called the local pack. So you always want your business to appear in that local pack. Next slide. We just talked about that. Near me terms are ranking locally. You definitely want to make sure that your Google My Business profile is optimized. And as you should with your website, you need to constantly be posting Google My Business profile and keep it current and fresh. It's just supports your profile coming up higher in the local pack. Next slide. Okay, well, I think we can skip this. Why don't we skip this just so, but this just kind of shows how to set up a Google My Business profile. And Robin can share this slide deck with everybody after. I just wrote a blog post about this. And by the way, there's so much talk right now about ChatGPT, and I'm exhausted from it, and I'm constantly responding to it. I don't know how much everybody knows about ChatGPT and the whole thing about artificial intelligence, and people are nervous that that's going to make search engines obsolete. I don't see that happening for a long, long time. I mean, there's so many bugs to get out of these AI tools, artificial intelligence tools. So I just wrote a blog post about this. Google's not a mind reader. It's not an interpreter. It doesn't make assumptions. You need to tell Google exactly what it needs to know. And we talked about this earlier about having a geographic statement. You need to tell Google who you serve, where your clients are located, and where your organization is located. And this is a site that Robin and I worked on together, Lifting Care Systems, which is a durable medical equipment and that offers services in New England, particularly patient lifts. And you'll see we added that geo statement or geo description in the footer of every page. Next slide. So other organic tactics that are less critical, once you get some of the low-hanging fruit done, there's always something new to be done on the SEO front. Like I said, it's never one and done. Particularly like, Robin builds accessible sites, but if you're building an accessible site, you want to make sure you use the alt tags to tag any photos or images you use. And doing that obviously supports screen readers being able to read to the user what the photo or image on the page is all about, so they don't, people that are visually impaired don't miss out on what a photo or image is showing or saying. But having those alt tags in place supports SEO. It's just one more way when Google crawls and indexes a site for it to know what your site is all about. So that's an additional SEO tactic once you tackle the more critical stuff. Like I said earlier, you want to keep adding fresh content to your site. So adding blog posts, maybe creating an FAQ, that's a great opportunity to include some high volume keywords. And then you want to always have 3 types of links on your site. So you want to have backlinks from external credible sites. So you want to get other external credible organizations to put a link on their site to your site, because Google for years has rewarded sites that have trustworthy backlinks. You want to have links to external sites from your sites. You don't want to make it all about you. And if you're not linking to other sites, Google sees that as a weakness. So you want to link to external credible sites. And then you also want to have what are called interpage or internal links, where you have links on your pages to other pages of the site. So those are things that you can, chip away at as you have time, or your clients can chip away at it as they have time. Next slide.
Oh. Questions?
Oh, there's our final slide. Okay. I guess we're all done, and I know that was a lot to go over in a short period of time, and you guys may have already known a lot of this, but
my favorite part of a presentation is definitely the questions. So go ahead and ask Gail some questions, and let's have a great discussion. Go ahead, Ann.
Hi, I thank you for that. That was very helpful. One of my clients, I was looking at one of their competitors' site yesterday, and I looked at their site map, and I saw a whole like 8 sets of pages that aren't in the navigation. An example was professional coach in Syracuse, professional coach in Auburn, professional coach in Watertown. And then they had, it was the same page, but slightly different text. And they probably had 8 sets of these. And I thought that kind of thing you would get penalized, but this company's always coming up above my client.
So that sounds like they have landing pages for all kinds of specialty.
Yeah, but they aren't real. They're just like
that.
Pardon me?
Yeah, to me that's a little bit of what I like to call black hat SEO. So there's white hat SEO, which is kind of above board, trying to be authentic, trying to be doing SEO the right way. That's a little bit intense. I might refer to that as black hat SEO, but if I guess it sounds like it's working for them. It's not a strategy I've ever employed. I do try to make sure that my clients, like I said earlier, have the geographic terms in their footer, and sometimes if they can't put in the footer, we'll put it on other pages of the site. So we do repeat throughout the site the geographies they serve. But I don't love the idea of what you're telling. It's probably not something I would do, but it sounds like it's working for them, unfortunately. And that's right. One of the challenges everybody has is you know, I always say it's not just about what you do for SEO, it's what your competition does too. So if they've got an effective SEO strategy and it's working for, you know, that can make it a really tough environment. I mean, my results vary so greatly across my clients, because for some clients it's really easy to move the SEO needle, and for some it's just really hard because they're in a competitive environment and their competition, you know, either has someone on site that knows SEO or they've got an external person that knows it. And so, I mean, that's too bad. I don't know really what you can do about that, you know. I you know, my biggest things I keep saying to people is just make sure you keep your content fresh and be authentic, you know. So is there a way your client could like blog weekly or blog twice a month? Because I find that really helps, having a blog, because in a blog post you can use your high volume keywords in the post tag.
Yannick had his hands up. I wanted to see what you had to say.
Yeah, I just a little bit of a comment here. This is a quite frequent common situation. One important thing to remember in SEO, and I think Gail would agree with me on that, is that it's often really hard to know the reasons of things. And what I mean by that is that it's not because you found 50 links in their sitemap that look dubious, at least, that they are in front of you. So there might be like 100 reasons they are, or not you, but your client. They might have better backlinks. They might have, they do more marketing. Their content is shared more. Maybe they do ads more. There's a lot of things. So I'm asked, I'm not an SEO consultant, but my customers often ask me questions about that, and I read a lot. So I'm not sure this is bringing them a lot of benefits, especially these days. So maybe you don't want to get too hung up about that, and just keep, like Gail said, like keep writing posts, blog posts, or having better content, or sharing it better, or whatever. Just keep going, because maybe there are other things. Backlinks obviously would be an important factor.
Yeah. Everything you said was spot on, Yannick, because there could be so many things going on. You know, I have one client that for one particular term, he's trying to rank for a couple terms. No matter what we do, we can't get him ranking above his competition. So I did look at 3 of his competitors' sites the other day. I'm meeting with them this afternoon to try to figure out, well, what is going on? You know, why are these other sites ranking better when we've done everything we could on our end? And I still don't have an obvious, easy answer, because like Yannick said, there's so many things that can influence it. Definitely, like if that site has a lot of backlinks from other credible external sites, that can cause Google to serve that site up more frequently. And then on top of it, even sites that have higher traffic volumes, Google will serve up more, because the higher your traffic volume, the more Google views that as a credible site. And that's been an SEO factor, you know, since, you know, for the last 15 years when I started working in SEO. So, you know, there's so many things that could be at play. So what I tend to do with my clients, I'm getting fresh content up there all the time and then tagging it appropriately.
Who else has a question? All right, go ahead, Ann.
Since nobody else is chiming in. This same client I have, when you talk about the location, she does most of her work in New York State, but she is trying to branch out. Like she's gotten a new contract in Colorado. She's been out to California, and she's trying to expand across the country. What would your recommendation be for the location listing for somebody like that?
It is really, really hard to rank. I always say if you try to rank everywhere, you often end up ranking nowhere. It's very, very tricky to rank for the whole US, particularly if you've got tons and tons of competitors in your space. Like think about somebody like me that runs a digital marketing agency. There's probably millions of digital marketing agencies in the US. So she can certainly mention that she serves it. And if there's serves the whole US, and if there's key metropolitan areas she wants to serve, she can try mentioning that in her content. But it is really hard. So I always say at least try to focus on ranking locally if you can. And ranking locally also supports ranking globally. But it's not easy. It is not easy. So there's not you know, there's not an easy fix or a quick fix for somebody that wants to, you know, rank for the whole US, let's say. It's going to be very hard. So like I said, she could still call out some of the metropolitan areas she wants to serve, particularly as part of that geo statement or description that she puts in her footer and even on the contact page and about page and stuff. But you know, Google just, you know, particularly the last 10 years, it always gives preference to local search and mobile search. So it's always going to give preference to people, you know, businesses that are located in the area where the person's searching.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Go ahead, Frank.
I just wanted to make a remark about Google My Business and share it's something that a little personal experience that I had. So it's not a question, but it was a cautionary tale for me. And that was that I ignored all of that for a long time. I get a lot of my business just on referrals. And I attended an SEO presentation by a local marketing group here. And the advice was search for your business and see what comes up. And I did that. And what came up was that my business was closed. And what happened there was that I used to do a lot of—
Oh, yeah.
It happens all the time. Clients I'll get, and they'll talk to me and I'll check them out. And it says, and I go back to them. I'm like, do you know that Google's saying you're closed? Get on that and fix that right away.
Yeah, well, it was kind of a struggle because what happened in my case was that I used to do a lot of overflow work for a larger design company who then closed. And then they offered me, they said, we're going to close our business and we'll forward, if you want to, we'll forward, or you could take over our domain. And
that made it really
I said, sure. I took it over, forwarded to me, and then that domain expired. Google picked that up. And it was a real pain to get that changed. I have to say, it took a while, and you have to schedule meetings with Google. You have to prove to them. And even after everything was said and done, when you searched for my business, what was coming up was street view pictures of the old business, which is in another city. It was a struggle. So search for yourselves and fix your Google My Business for sure.
No, definitely. But if you ignore it, you're going to lose a lot of business. If you can go through the struggle and getting ownership of it, getting the logins for it, putting in correct information, you get a lot of traction. But Google does not make anything easy, and they don't have to, which is the struggle behind it. But if you're geographically driven, you're going to get ranked above someone who's outside that radius right away. So they really will help you. Your phone will ring when someone's looking for you in your area. If you can keep that under control, because it does get difficult. Clients come to me all the time and I go to check them out. I'm like, do you know that, the sports bar says it's permanently closed? And they're like, I had no idea. I don't know how they fixed it, but you'll go back and they'll fix it. So sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's very difficult.
A last snag with that, and I'll let it go, was that Google did correct it and showed me in business again, but then they wouldn't remove the old reviews from the old business. And those were not my clients. Well, there was one or two that were, but the reviews were intended for the other firm from many, many years ago. And Google said that, well, no, we're not going to remove those because there's not enough difference between the old firm and yours. They finally did, and I was able to solicit my own reviews, but it was a learning experience. I spent a lot of time on it, and it was a real pain.
Yeah, that I haven't had anyone take over a business before and have that come up. So that, wow, how unlucky for you to have to take their testimonials as well.
I'll tell you one thing. My experience with Google My Business is if you have something you need them to correct, you usually have to submit a request like 3 or 4 times to get it fixed. And I had an issue that took 1.5 years to 2 years to get fixed, and I am not even kidding. And it finally got fixed this week. And I had to just, keep filling out the form to get them to review it. So you just have to be really pushy, because they probably just don't have enough people on their end to be responding to all these things. I imagine the queue is crazy long. And so you have to be really assertive about it.
Lisa, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I had not a question, but a comment about local ranking, because I had a client who she had a location statement in her bio that said where she was from, but it was not where she was actually doing business currently. So like I pulled her Google Search Console report, and it turns out she was ranking for her place of birth or where she grew up rather than where she was doing business. And she's a home designer, does an interior design. There we go. So location's really important. So I said, can you take that off, right? Take it off your bio and instead put where, because she had like where she served, clients like at the bottom. But the first thing that was that she was from Annapolis in Maryland, and she's not even in Maryland, she's in Virginia. So I was like, you need to fix that. It's not that far, it's like, I don't know, an hour, but still. So she fixed
like
it.
Gail said, Google doesn't make any assumptions or
They don't know.
interpretations.
They don't know. So she was ranking for an interior designer in Annapolis, and people were going to her website, and she's not in Annapolis, so she wasn't getting any business from them. So she took that off and started ranking for like the local areas after that. But it's one of those things where you actually have to be careful about locations, because they'll take anything regardless of what relevance it has to where you serve. So
wow, that's pretty crazy, but
Alan,
pretty crazy.
Alan, did you have your hand up? Did you want to say something? I thought you lifted your hand now.
Me?
Yeah.
No, actually, I was just going to say that this was very informative, but how do we evaluate and analyze the results? That could be a whole nother presentation, maybe.
Oh, yeah. So Gail does keyword research for my clients all the time, and it's something we like to do at the very beginning of the project, because if I'm going to work with them to design a new website or whatever, we really want to understand not what they call things inside their business, but what the rest of the world calls it when they're searching for them. And so we can change the way that we design the website based on those terms. So doing the keyword research up front is super valuable. And Gail is very affordable to my clients to just go out there. And so, like she said, you pick your audiences. If you sell products to, or you provide a service to high school students and parents, well, they're searching differently, if you're an ice cream stand or something, right? So you may want to, so you have different buckets, and you figure out like what services you provide. Maybe you provide 5 services, but you don't want to grow one sector of them. You only want to grow the other 4. So then you kind of hone in on what keywords you want to search for. And then she puts together this big spreadsheet, and she highlights the ones that are important, because a lot of that comes through is kind of junk, and you've got to know what not to look at, what things are meaningful. And then you want to focus on the ones that get a lot of searching, more regularly. So you can take that data, and that's the thing with any data, there's just so much data, right? What can we really do with it? And a lot of times our clients will get it, and they won't look through it. So then she'll make them get on a call with them and have her talk them through it so they can understand it, because data is very intimidating. But then once you have them, like you said, you can use them on those title tags, and you can use them throughout your website, but you can also use them on your YouTube, or you can use them how you're hashtagging on LinkedIn. So now you've got it, and you can start using it. And then you may want to like redo it 6 months later or a year later to see if anything changes. And as far as how you use it, I mean, Yonic's got tools for that. And I've kind of taught Gail how to use it inside of the Joomla websites where she has clients her and I share clients together, and that's not kind of what today is about, but does that kind of answer your question about the keyword?
It wasn't really just the keywords. I'm just saying overall. So you've set this all up and time goes by, and at what point do you realize it has an effect? I mean, how do you determine?
I can
That's
answer
a different
that.
question. Yeah.
I can answer that. So I use what's called an SEO audit tool. I finally invested in it a couple of years ago because a lot of the SEO audit tools are very expensive and you have to do a monthly subscription. And then, it's hard to cover your costs, but now I have to start charging clients for maintaining their account on my SEO tool. So I use a tool, it's called SEO Rank Tracker, but it comes with a subscription to a tool called Agency Analytics that tracks other data as well. But I have found it so helpful because, when the client gets a keyword research, I ask them to highlight the terms that they think are most appropriate, going to end up using. And then I enter them in at any point in time, night or day, and check how they're ranking. So do the rankings change? Yeah, they can move forward and backward all the time. It's a constant game. It's a constant game because just because you're in spot 18 on Google now, you can drop down to 25, then you can go back to 16. It's crazy. There's a lot of variability. But that SEO audit tool allows me to see, are we moving forward? Are we going backwards? And, which terms we're going backwards for. And it's really helpful then is if on a rank well for, I can write a blog post or suggest to them that they put up a blog post about that particular topic. I mean, it is a game and it's not an exact science. I said that to a client this morning. It's not an exact science. So you've got to just try to be creative about ranking and really think, what else can I do? I've tried everything. Now what can I do? And like I mentioned during a presentation, maybe you focus on having more interlinks on your site or more backlinks from other external organizations. So maybe you approach appropriate external organizations and ask them to link back. Or you focus on your alt tags on your images. Maybe you never put any time into that. Well, that's another layer of SEO. So you have to keep plugging away at it, particularly if you're not doing as well as you'd like and you're in a competitive environment. Some clients don't have those challenges. They don't have a lot of competition or their competition isn't doing SEO right. And just very basic stuff is enough to get them to rank well. But that audit tool does help us figure out, are we moving the needle? Like I moved the needle for my own business significantly, but if I hadn't had that SEO audit tool, I wouldn't have been able to know that.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions? How'd you like the presentation today?
Great.
Very good. Thank you, Gail, so much for.
Well, I appreciate you having me, Robin.
We're right on time, an hour and a half. And so I look forward to seeing you all next month. If you can check out the J-Day USA or, come out and hang out in Texas with us, that'd be great. When you hop off this call, go do your updates. Look for in the meantime, between now and next month, if you have any questions, jump on our Facebook page. It's been very active lately. People have been helping people, which I love. And everyone stay safe and be healthy and happy. And I'll talk to you soon.
Have a nice day, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, bye.
Nice to meet everybody.
Bye-bye.